If I'm so busy looking for the turnaround that I can't take God's word for what he's doing and let him actually take me through the process, then I'm going to miss the goodness of God because I'm looking for my own goodness.
Right.
Blindness to this difference has resulted in long-standing tradition of ecclesiastical, theological, and academic communities doing violence to the scriptures. So here's a very good example of this. This is one of the preaching hot verses. When Joseph finally gets to confront his brothers, Joseph was sold into slavery, becomes second in command in Egypt to Pharaoh. He gets to confront his brothers who sold him into slavery. Genesis 50 and 20, this is a big preacher's phrase, this is a big shouting phrase, and I'm going to mess up y'all's shout, so don't get too excited. As for you, you thought it evil against me, but God meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save alive many people. The shout is, you meant it for evil, but the devil meant it for my good.
Amen.
That's the paraphrase. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. That's not what Joseph said.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But as for you, you thought it evil against me, but God meant it unto good. So to bring pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. Joseph didn't say you meant it evil, but God meant it for my good. He said God meant it for good. Joseph's testimony was not that his betrayal was intended by God for Joseph's benefit.
Right.
Joseph was an instrument for something good God was doing, which was nothing so trite as getting him promoted from slave to second in command in Israel. That's not what Joseph was testifying here.
Yeah.
You meant it evil, but God meant it for good. There's a good God was doing, and he used me. You thought you were going to do it to destroy me. God used it to do something good with it.
Right.
The good God was doing was for the preservation of many lives, including the lives of those traitorous brothers. Mm-hmm. The good of God's plan of suffering, of Joseph's suffering, was the preservation of the Abrahamic lineage in a time of famine. The good God was doing was the positioning of the tribe of Israel for the preservation of a promise, for the fulfillment of prophecy, and the eventual possession of the promised land. It wasn't about Joseph.
Yeah.
It wasn't about his benefits. It wasn't about his blessing, but God had a promise to preserve, and he put Joseph in a position, despite what they thought they were trying to do, to bless the very people that were trying to destroy him.
Yes.
God's doing good. Your good is a different discussion.
Yes.
It was not for Joseph's benefit that he was betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery. It was not for Joseph's good that he was lied on by Potiphar's wife and cast into prison. It was not for Joseph's good that he was forgotten about in prison by the cupbearer. It was for the good of the people that betrayed him. I'm sorry, that might not feel all that exciting to you, but it was for the good of those that betrayed him, the good of those that lied on him and forgot about him, that he endured all those things. And here's the kicker, if this wasn't bubble busting enough, the recompense or justice. We live in an age where we talk a lot about justice now. The recompense or justice was not predicated upon restoring everything Joseph lost or compensating him for the tragedies he experienced in life. What could you give Joseph that would have made it all okay? Betrayed by your family, your brothers, sold into slavery, lied on, cast in prison. Exactly how much of a position? If he had been Pharaoh, would that have eased the pain? My brothers betrayed me. Yeah. Recompense and justice didn't come from evening the scales, getting back, redistribution of wealth, reallocation of resources. Instead, resolution came as God's plan was executed through Joseph, who found fulfillment for his life in being party to the goodness of God. The resolution didn't come by trying to make everything okay and get back everything that I lost, but God had a plan for me, and I find fulfillment being part of that plan.
Yes.
It makes it all okay. The scales may not be balanced mathematically, but I am under the hand of God, working for his good, working towards what he has in mind. And that makes everything, I'm not all that worried about that anymore, because my life is fulfilled, walking in God's plan, participating in his goodness, despite what it may feel like for myself.